A huge update for Battlefield 2 Modern Combat is going to be available on October 20th. This has been worked on for a really long time, but I didn't want to make any videos until we had a firm date. I'll get to some key points about this update very soon, but the key takeaway from this video, what you really need to know is the DNAS is going to change on the 20th. If you don't change your DNAS to the one that's on screen now, on the 20th you will not be able to play the game online anymore. So I'll keep the new code on screen for the remainder of this video because it really is important that you make that change. So let's get into some key features about this update. We're going to have player stats, full in-game leaderboards. We're going to have reconfigurable game servers. North American servers are coming to the game. We're going to have full in-game clan creation. We're going to have clan matches and clan leaderboards. Also, clan tags are going to be added to the game, so when you join a clan, it'll automatically put the clan's tag into your username. That wasn't actually a thing back in the day. That's something new that Lupo has worked on. I'll briefly mention that there's going to be a website and also some changes to the Discord bot and some other just minor sort of legacy bugs and fixes. It's been just over 4 months since the Battlefield 2 Modern Combat servers came back online. Back in May 12th, 2023 was when they were turned back online for the first time in about 10 years. And back then it was actually supposed to just be a weekend trial sort of thing. But that trial was very successful and people really wanted more, they wanted to keep playing. So Omega kept the servers running, and since then, about 4 months ago, they've been pretty much running 24 hours a day, which is pretty impressive considering it was only supposed to be like a test for the weekend. So I think everyone owes a thank you to Omega for keeping the servers up and running for that length of time. However, many features of the original multiplayer were lost, mostly stats and clans and things like that. And the problem was that we couldn't really do anything about that because we were using CHC's version of OpenSpy, and we needed to make our own version of OpenSpy in order to make any changes. I will say that very early on, PY and Red 13 actually brought the stats back in a sort of unofficial way. PY was able to launch an old website that he had from way back when the game was initially working. And Red 13 was able to create a Discord bot which pulled like unofficial stats from PY's information and actually did a lot of work with the Discord bot. Initially, I asked Red if he was able to basically have like a server status symbol so that people, when they're on Discord, they can see if just if the servers were up and running or if they were taken down. But he went way beyond my expectations. He has things like it'll tell you what map's being played, how many people are in the game, the usernames of that game, but also he brought back stats essentially. He brought the ability to know who, how many wins you've got, how many losses you've got, and things like that. And the interesting thing about this was, like, for me, I didn't realize how much how important the stats were to people. But I noticed that once the stats were recording with the Discord bot, people really played the objective and they really played to win a lot more. So it was really clear that actually having game stats and, more importantly, in-game stats was an important factor for the community and something, I guess, that kept people playing. So I honestly thought that it was going to take well over a year for us to have our own custom version of OpenSpy, but thankfully Lupo came on board and has really made things a lot quicker. Some of you may know that Lupo joined us during the playtesting stage. You may have seen some of his posts on the Discord. You may even see him stream on Discord. Sometimes he'll just like be working on the back end code and he'll just like stream what he's doing, and people will drop in and out and he'll just chat to people. So he's very approachable that way, and he's always very knowledgeable about bringing retro games back online. I'll actually see if I can find a picture of him. Just let's see it. This is his profile picture here. Yeah, I mean he's not a looker by any means, but he is very, very knowledgeable in bringing classic games back to life. Notably, he worked on restoring the multiplayer for Medal of Honor Rising Sun, which is another classic PlayStation 2 game. So he has a lot of experience in bringing some of these old games back online. So, and really for me and Omega, he just came out of nowhere and sort of took over the project on his single-handedly, really. Like I say, if we didn't have him on board, this easily would have taken a year. And to be honest, now that I know how much work is in it, it probably would have taken even longer. So we're really grateful for all of the work he's done to the project. So I have a little visual here that might help explain what's going on. So initially the game ran on GameSpy servers, but then recently it was brought back. Obviously GameSpy are shut down, so the game's been brought back using OpenSpy, which is an open source clone of GameSpy. That was brought back by CHC and is currently being used by PS2 Online for lots of other PlayStation 2 games, which has been great for the last 4 months because it's allowed us to actually play the game. But what the downside of this is, obviously we don't have stats and other things haven't been developed for it, but if it goes down, if it's being DDoSed or for whatever reason it's being taken down for maintenance for other games, it means that we get shut down too. So it's much better for us to have our own independent version of this. And this is where BF2MC comes in. This is a custom version of OpenSpy that we've written purely for playing Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. But what this means is you have to change your DNAS settings away from the OpenSpy version and now use the new settings I mentioned at the start of this video to access our new backend. And also this is a clean slate for all players, so you need to create your new login, your new username. But bear in mind, don't put a clan tag in your username because clan tags are now automatically generated. And also don't worry about losing your old stats. Any stats that you gained during the test period will be archived and they'll be put on a website when that's up and running. So I really can't stress enough that you must change your DNAS code if you want to play the game online again and connect to our back end. Another update that is going to be a big update is the Discord bot. Before it was running unofficial stats, but Red 13 is now going to essentially point it to our back end or gather the data from our back end. So it's now going to report official stats. It's not going to be unofficial. It's not going to be inaccurate in any way. I think before it was probably like 90 to 95% accurate. But going forward, you'll be able to check your stats just using Discord. As among other things as well, like Red's done a lot of work on lots of other little quirky stats, but also showing what servers are running and who's playing, things like that, which is very useful whenever you're thinking, I wonder if I should jump online. It saves you having to like turn on your computer or your PS2 and find out who's online. You can just very quickly with your phone check it. I do think that Discord bot has kept the game alive because it lets people know who's on and when people are playing, which is a big deal. G has also been really hard at work on a brand new website for the game. This will host things like player stats, clan stats, and I think also it'll report what servers are running and who's playing, things like that. But I can't really go into too much detail on that yet because I don't think it's going to launch. It might not launch exactly on the 20th, and I don't really want to point people to it just yet until it's finished. But maybe after the 20th and once the website's fully working, I'll make another video and point you to that. I just want to end on saying that this is really just the beginning. The last 4 months of work has just been to get the game back to the way it was like back in the day. And I think that's why the update's called 1.0, because the goal here was really to get the game running exactly as it was back in the day. But we want to do much more than that. We have plans for things like being able to change the flag positions, maybe change where the spawns are, possibly even adding new game types. For example, deathmatch would be a really nice mode where essentially the flags just you can't capture them, so the only way to run the tickets down is by killing the other team. And maybe we would change the value, so instead of having 400 points at the start of Conquest, you'd maybe only have 100 points, like the first to 100 kills, or possibly even lower than that. But we want to try and add new things to keep the game fresh. Maybe have some community nights, test out some things. But we have a lot of plans on things that we might be able to do to improve the game or add something to the game, while also keeping the original there too. Like, we'll obviously always keep the original servers running, things like that. But it might be nice to just add a couple of new features where possible, really. And we're looking into that, and we're trying to do as much as we can in bringing things like that to the game. If you haven't joined the Discord group, you should really do that. All the latest information will be posted there, and it's a good way to keep in touch with people. Sometimes people jump into the comms as well, which is nice. You can talk to people while you're actually playing. So yeah, thanks everyone for playing. I want to thank you for your patience. I know some people, when they're playing the game, can get quite frustrated. There are some team killers and people who grieve. The odd person still glitches. We're trying to deal with that as best as we can. But I just want to remind everyone that Omega, Lupo, Red13, G, and the other Discord moderators, they're all doing this in their free time. They're not getting paid to do this. It's just something that they're doing as a passion project, really. So, bear in mind that they're humans too, and like, we don't all have an infinite amount of time to work on this stuff. So everyone's trying their best to make this as good an experience as possible, but the moderators are also human, so just keep that in mind, and they'll do their best. Also, actually, it's worth pointing out that not only is Omega doing this for free, but it's actually costing him money to host the servers as well. So, I think everyone could cut him a little bit of slack. Sometimes people in the Discord get a little bit too excited with what they post, but everyone's doing their best to try and make this a good experience, and hopefully the community will appreciate that. So please, if you have any questions, comment below. Do your best to share this information. You can share this video or share the Discord. Tell your friends if you used to play this. Now is a really good time to get back into it. We're hoping to get a lot more full servers. Most nights we are getting full servers, but we'd like to keep that up and make sure we have maybe even a couple of full servers. And it would be nice to have some clans and things come back, get some competitions going, things like that. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and hopefully see you playing very soon.